He's a menace. 7 months we've been waiting for him and not a word. Now, someone tell me, where is Spider-Man?
Now then, I'll do. Right, let's do this one last time, as they say. I'm Yorkshire's one and only Spider-Man. I got my powers off a coal-powered spider that scarpered from Drax Power Station. You know, they went green about 10 years back now. Anyhow, you've been asking where I've been these last 7 months. Well, let me tell you, fighting crime without any tall buildings to swing from can be right tough. So instead, I'm just gonna watch these other universes' spider people. Okay, yes. I know it has been 7 months since I have made a video on this show. Honestly, it's my bad, but Marvel Rivals has been taking up like every second of free time I have. I am addicted to that game. As a support main, getting my ass beat by Spider-Man all the time, it kind of felt like karma, so I finally got around to watching Season 3. Also, I have read and heard your comments. I know I am not the knows everything about Marvel kinda guy, and I do and will say some dumb shit that may be a little misinformed, but I'm going to try my absolute best this video. So now, after 7 long months, let's get into the first episode of Season 3 of Ultimate Spider-Man is titled The Return of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Return because the Guardians were already introduced in Season 2, Episode 17. We start out with Spider-Man and Nova, specifically Sam Alexander, who was created by Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness, and whose first appearance was in Point One Number 1 that came out in 2011, not Richard Rider, made by Marv Wolfman and John Buscema, who first appeared in Nova Number 1 all the way back in 1976. See, I'm studying this video. I told you, I'm gonna do better. As they race through the skies of New York, Nova has this kind of existential crisis as he feels like he could and should be doing more. After all, we already know that Nova was a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy before S.H.I.E.L.D, so he was saving people in space, and now he's saving people in New York. The race between Spidey and Nova is interrupted by the Guardians, surprise surprise, as they're chasing down the intergalactic terrorist Titus, who is also a character originally created by Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness, and was first introduced in Nova Volume 5, Number 1 back in 2013. Titus is on Earth chasing after Nova's Nova Core helmet so he can harness its true power, which sets up Nova's power upgrade later in this episode, as he takes Titus head on. And after the power boost, the episode ends off with Nova and Spidey being found out by Nick Fury for doing things behind his back, and the Guardians leaving Earth. Episode 2, titled The Avenging Spider-Man Part 1, is, as you guessed it, a two-parter. The episode starts out with the Spider Squad, Nova, Iron Fist, White Tiger, Power Man, and Spider-Man, of course, fighting Doc Ock before the Avengers show up and recruit Spider-Man to their team. Because if there's one thing their team comp needs, it's another DPS. This is also the first time in the season we see the title card. But this time, as you can see, it's different. Unlike the other 2 seasons, the Ultimate Spider-Man logo is joined by the subtitle Web Warriors. After a montage of a few missions with the Avengers, we come to the main plot of this episode. Loki. Loki releases Doc Ock from containment and asks him to remake the Venom symbiote. But to do so, Doc Ock needs Spider-Man's blood, so Loki does a little Freaky Friday action and swaps bodies with Spider-Man, similar to Season 1, Episode 10, titled Freaky. While in Loki's body, Spider-Man tries to tell the Avengers what's actually going on, but since they have a long history with Loki and his tricks, they naturally don't believe him and start a fight. While on the other side, Loki in Spider-Man's body starts to cause a heap of mess by releasing venomized monsters on New York. The Avengers, seeing these monsters as a bigger threat than Loki, decide to fight these monsters instead. Falcon swoops in and joins the fight, and the Avengers start to pick off these monsters one by one. We learn that one of these monsters is Ulik, the unstoppable troll, made by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby all the way back in 1966 for Thor number 137. As the fight continues, we cut to Spider Laufeyson and Loki Man brawling it out. And after letting Spider-Man win by beating the fuck out of himself, Loki swaps back, putting Spider-Man in his own beat-up body, which additionally adds an extra layer of confusion for the Avengers, who only just started to believe Spider Laufeyson's story. And we end the episode off with a to be continued. Episode 3 is a continuation of episode 2, so naturally it's called The Avenging Spider-Man Part 2. Though I am now noticing that on disneyplus, episode 3's title has a colon and episode 2's title doesn't. I don't think that means anything, but it's just something I spotted. I'm trying to be informational. This episode is pretty dense. Like, a lot of stuff happens in not a lot of time. So I'll do my best to keep this one short but informative. We start the episode off where we left the last one with the Avengers attacking Spidey. But he uses the sewers to be able to avoid the fight. Spidey heads to Midtown High to get in contact with his good old Spidey squad, who, seeing the news, also think that he is Loki. But they quickly figure out that they're talking to the real Spider-Man, mostly based on the sewer smell. The Avengers then show up at the school and a group fight breaks out. And with Spidey taking lead of his old crew, they have somewhat of a fighting chance. Kind of ish. Not really. But luckily for the Spider Squad, the fight is cut short when a train falls off the tracks and Spidey stops it, proving to the Avengers that he clearly isn't Loki because he just saved innocent lives. They then go back to the streets outside Avengers Tower, where Hulk and Thor have been frozen in some icy venom? Working together as one big group, the Avengers and the Spidey Squad manage to defeat the venomized monsters and free our two vanguards from Luna Snow's right-click, throwing Ulik and Fenris Wolf, who was also created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1965 and first appeared in Journey into Mystery number 114, into a Bifrost portal. And the day is saved, except not really, as they receive a call from Nick Fury, who lets them know that the power has been turned back on at Doc Ock's underwater lab. Which made me wonder why they didn't just dismantle or destroy the lab when they had him captured. But anyways, the Spider Squad decide that they should go because they know the way. And it definitely doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they all just miss each other and want to hang out and do a mission together. So as they show up, they are met with an Asgardian metal-suited Doc Ock, which he received from Loki last episode. And as they get their asses whooped, Doc Ock floods his lab in an attempt to drown them, which of course doesn't work, and the fight comes to the surface, where we see even Thor, the god of thunder, gets thrown around by Doc Ock's new suit. As Loki and Doc Ock go parading through the city streets, Loki puts a bust of himself on the Avengers Tower, because he can do that if he wants, I guess. And then we see how much the venomized monsters have taken over the streets, and we also learn that these monsters happen to be frost giants and trolls. So the two teams work together once again to clean up shop and just throw them all into a fucking Bifrost portal. And the frost giants also explain the icy venom that we saw earlier in the episode. And the rest of the episode, we see Doc Ock fall for the classic blunder of, hey, who's actually the leader of your duo? And they eventually end up fighting each other, which naturally ends in both of them getting beat and locked up. Doc Ock by S.H.I.E.L.D. and Loki by the Bifrost. The last part of the episode is of Spidey and Iron Man having a quick chat about Spidey leaving the Avengers and going back to his Spider Squad! But of course, he always has an open invitation to rejoin the Avengers whenever he wishes. And so yes, that is the end of episode 3. I told you it was pretty thick. Episode 4, titled Agent Venom, starts us... Yo! Fuck whatever I was going to actually say about this episode. Honestly, I'm just gonna read straight from the script that I've written down. Like, I normally look at the camera, but I'm just gonna speak. Honestly, at first, I was just going to say that it was a pretty mid episode about Flash Thompson getting the Venom symbiote, and that's about it. But, yo! The end of this episode is so fucking hype. They show a list of 8 new young heroes that have risen up because they've all got inspired by Spider-Man becoming an Avenger. And this list has got me so fucking hyped to watch the rest of these episodes. And listen, I'll be pretty open and honest right now. When it comes to watching these seasons, I do really enjoy them. However, knowing that there are 26 episodes for me to digest and script and research is a very daunting task. But this has flipped the script for me. Looking at the list, I can see Cloak and Dagger, Squirrel Girl, and possibly Psylocke? All of who I will openly say I know from Marvel Rivals. And the rest of them I'm not so sure on. But I am genuinely so hyped to continue watching this season just from this little moment. Honestly, it's a similar feeling to some of the first Marvel movies where they would have the post-credit scenes hinting at the next movie or characters. It just feels so cool. Also, if you can't tell by the way I'm talking, I write this script episode by episode. So yes, while I am reading from a script as you just saw, all of these thoughts and feelings are coming from those exact moments. So I watch a bit, I write a bit, I watch a bit, I write a bit, so on and so forth, and that's how these are done. Episode 5, titled Cloak and Dagger, starts off with Spider-Man and Iron Fist patrolling around looking for those said new heroes. When Iron Fist talks about an eerie, unsettling feeling that he has because White Tiger has not shown up. Spidey calls up Nick Fury, who gives us a info dump about Cloak and Dagger, who, again, I have never heard of until, of course, Marvel Rivals. However, looking into them, it looks like they had a TV show back in 2018, but were originally created by Bill Mantol and Ed Hannigan for the Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man number 64 in 1981. Moments after the call ends with Nick Fury, Cloak shows up and releases 3 jacked up enemies known as the Mindless Ones, who kidnap Iron Fist, and as Spidey goes to kick some fucking ass, Dagger shows up and explains actually what's going on. Cloak is under some kind of spell that's making him do evil shit, so naturally, Spider-Man goes to Doctor Strange, who is already fighting some Mindless Ones when they arrive. Doctor Strange reveals that the Mindless Ones are controlled by Dormammu. You know, this guy from the movies, who first appeared in the Strange Tales 126 comic book back in 1964, made of course by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Dormammu shows up in Cloak's stomach like a fucking Teletubby and kidnaps Doctor Strange. But just as he's taken, he throws the Cloak of Levitation / the Eye of Agamotto and asks Spider-Man to use it wisely. So, of course, Spider Supreme accidentally opens up a wormhole that swallows him and Dagger and sends them to the fucking Nether, apparently. Facing off with Cloak, they manage to slightly free him from the mind control, and in that moment, Spider-Man dives into Cloak's darkness to save the day, equipped with one of Dagger's, daggers. Inside the darkness, Spidey meets the real Cloak, and to gain his trust, he reveals his secret identity, and using Dagger's light, frees Cloak from Dormammu. So now our duo is a trio, and they go off to go save Iron Fist, Doctor Strange, and White Tiger, who has also been taken. Which doesn't take long at all, as the Eye of Agamotto just flies them straight up to Dormammu's castle. And using Dagger's light, they are all freed. Except Doctor Strange, but not before getting new outfits that go insanely hard. Like, what the fuck? Iron Fist and White Tiger, now equipped with their new fucking dope-ass outfits, distract Dormammu long enough for Doctor Strange to be freed, and all of them just get the fuck out of there using Cloak's darkness. And the episode ends off with Spider-Man offering them a place at S.H.I.E.L.D. Except not really. We get an extra scene showing that Taskmaster has already got to them first, and has manipulated them and the way they think. Episode 6, titled The Next Iron Spider, starts with Peter having lunch with Aunt May, until Juggernaut runs past the window, and we are shown Squirrel Girl! So fuck whatever the title says, this is the Squirrel Girl episode. We also learn the name of some of her squirrel friends. We have Tippy Toes, who shows up in Marvel Rivals, Monkey Joe, and Mr. Lieberman, as they Squirrel Stampede! Juggernaut winning the fight before Spider-Man even got to show up, except not really, since Squirrel Girl's ult does like 3 fucking damage. We learn that Squirrel Girl sees herself as a hero and is actually a fan of Spider-Man, but could do with some real training so she doesn't cause as much collateral damage. Squirrel Girl, otherwise known as Doreen Green, was made by Will Murray and Steve Ditko in 1991, and was first seen in Marvel Superheroes Volume 2, Number 8. And while we're at it, and I happen to be in my education era, Juggernaut, aka Kane Marco, was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Alex Toth, and was first seen in X-Men number 12, released in 1965. I told you, I'm learning. Anyway, back to the story. Nick Fury tells Spider-Man about a new recruit to S.H.I.E.L.D., a child at his high school named Amadeus Cho, who is, according to Nick Fury, the 7th smartest person on the planet. And with a quick goog on the old webs, we can see that Amadeus Cho is a superhero known as Brawn, who was made by Greg Pak and Takeshi Miyazawa back in 2005. You know, when I was 4 years old. But enough info, let's go back to the show once again. We get a wonderful little video game animation explaining in short who Amadeus is to Spidey and why they don't super gel together. Which basically just boils down to Amadeus is smarter than Peter, which makes Peter jealous. So during the school's fundraiser, Peter and Amadeus have a little back and forth, little argument, while Peter accepts and comes to terms with the fact that Nick wants to recruit Amadeus. And it's during this passive aggressiveness that the Iron Spider suit gets robbed by none other than Taskmaster. So the two battle it out, Spider-Man receiving help from Nova, Power Man, and Spider-Man? Nah. Of course, it's Amadeus Cho, who, to my own personal surprise, beats the record for how quickly someone can let power go to their head, as he turns on Spider-Man, Nova, and Power Man and flies away. Also, yes, I fixed my lighting. Cho is stopped by Taskmaster, who tries to recruit him, but Amadeus is way too smart for that and quite quickly realizes he's made a mistake. So Taskmaster hacks into the Iron Spider suit, leaving Amadeus to be puppeted around, forcing Spider-Man on the defensive. Luckily, Power Man and Nova show up, giving Cho just enough time to hack back into the Iron Spider suit, and all of them working together manage to take down Tasky. Unfortunately, however, for our main man Spidey, Taskmaster is the big bad of the whole season, so he can't be stopped in episode 6. Taskmaster, with a little bit of control left of the Iron Spider suit, sets it to self-destruct, and in the chaos escapes. The heroes work together to free Amadeus from his metal prison of death, which they do by repowering the Thingamadoo and overloading the doohickey. And yeah, I have no idea what they're actually doing. They hack the suit. And in the end, Spider-Man chooses to let Amadeus keep the Iron Spider suit, and even adds him to the new group he's putting together. The episode ends off with Spider-Man learning that Taskmaster is also putting together a team. And just like that, the overarching story of the season is set up. Can Spider-Man get to these new heroes before Taskmaster manipulates them into choosing the wrong side? Also, I would like to apologize. As it turns out, the episode titled The Next Iron Spider is in fact about the Iron Spider and is not a Squirrel Girl episode. But it's coming! I can sense it. It's on its way. Over a quarter of the way through the season now, as we come to episode 7, titled The Vulture. I'll trust the episode's title, so I'm pretty sure I know what this episode is going to be about. So I was wrong. This episode, while yes, is about the Vulture, it isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. Spider-Man tracks down the Vulture, who turns out to be one of Doc Ock's animal experiments like the Rhino. Except these experiments were done on impoverished children who had their memories wiped. The rest of the episode is about Spider-Man trying to help Vulture regain his memories, but he's unable to even after confronting Doc Ock, who, yes, escaped this episode by using a sleeper agent code word on Vulture, but he gets captured again at the end, so I don't really need to go into that. The episode ends with Vulture talking to Taskmaster, who's able to tell him his real name, which is Adrian. So, while not the same as the original Vulture in terms of age or design, they share a name. And unfortunately for Spider-Man, Taskmaster is able to twist Vulture onto his side, meaning that after the first quarter of play, Team Web Warriors is up to 2, and Team Taskmaster is leading with a 2.5-ish. Do Cloak and Dagger count as 1 or like 2? Episode 8, titled The Savage Spider-Man, starts us out in Savage Land, where dinosaurs still exist, and is approximately here on the map. Savage Land was first introduced in Marvel Mystery Comics number 22, all the way back in 1941. But at that time, it was known as the island where time stands still. It picked up the name Savage Land in X-Men number 10 in 1965. And speaking of X-Men, Wolverine is here to help Spider-Man track down a new team member. And after fending off a fucking T-Rex, we learn the name of this new possible teammate, Kevin Plunder, also known as Kazar, who was introduced in the very same comic as Savage Land. And also, looking at his wiki page, he's British, my exact height, and blonde. So, hey, Marvel, listen, let's talk something out. If you ever want a live-action Kazar, all I'm saying is I'm more than happy to lose every single percentage of body fat in my body and gain 40 pounds of muscle. Also, my dad's name is Kevin. Back to the story, they stop in their tracks as Wolverine smells who they're looking for, and with trust not yet built, they jump straight into fighting. That only ends when Spider-Man jumps in to break up the two knife-wielding crazies. We learn that Kazar's brother Zabu has been abducted. And so, with the dilemma clearly laid out for our heroes, they jet off to save the day. Following Wolverine's nose again, they quickly come across Zabu the saber-toothed tiger? Rushing in, Kazar and everyone else falls for a trap that is laid by none other than the season's main villain, Taskmaster. But this time, he has joined forces with Kraven the Hunter. However, this alliance is shaky, and not agreeing on how to capture Kazar leads to them freeing our 3 heroes from their net. As the villains run away, they shoot poison darts at the 3, but only one hits its mark, Spider-Man, transforming him into Savage Spider-Man, also known as Man-Spider, whose concept was first introduced to us in Marvel Fanfare number 2 in 1982, though more recently in 2022, a comic series started titled Savage Spider-Man, though the design of the 2 versions are slightly different. Savage Spider-Man attacks Wolverine and Kazar and manages to run off into the jungle while the other 2 go and search for the antidote. In the jungle, our Savage Spider-Man bumps back into the T-Rex from before, but this time hits the classic, "Nah, I'd win," and knocks the T-Rex clean out. And as he prepares to eat his prey, George of the Jungle and Shortstack come with the antidote, which just happens to be a skunk farting in Spider-Man's face. Listen, it's a kid's show. There has to be at least a certain level of potty humor, okay? When Spider-Man eventually wakes up, they are back on the jet and are chasing down Taskmaster and Kraven. And once they are over New York, they shoot each other down, leading Spider-Man and Kazar to jump out into the streets. Spidey, still laser focused on the task, loses sight of Quasar for a second as he starts to have sensory overload from the city's chaos. But Spider-Man teaches Quasar how to move with the city and how he should view it as just a concrete jungle. So together they track down Kraven, who's trying to do a fucking immortality ritual by sacrificing Zabu. So a large fight breaks out where the heroes try to hold Kraven off long enough so the ritual doesn't work, and also try to defeat Taskmaster. And in the end, Kraven is defeated, and of course, Taskmaster escapes. And in the final moments of the episode, Quasar agrees to become part of Spider-Man's new team, and that takes the new team up to 3. Episode 9, New Warriors, starts with Spider-Man's New Warriors and the Spider Squad teaming up for some practice, which goes honestly quite well. Up until Cloak shows up, teleporting Dagger, Vulture, and Taskmaster onto the helicarrier. Taskmaster name drops his new team as the Thunderbolts before they begin to fight. Cloak quickly takes Spider-Man's old team out of the fight and teleports them to a tropical island, leaving Spider-Man to fight with his new and unskilled team. Naturally, Taskmaster and the Thunderbolts win and set the helicarrier into lockdown, trapping everyone on board. Chasing them down, we find them breaking open the holding bay, and just as the New Warriors rush in to stop them, the doors blow open, leading to Doc Ock, Beetle, Scorpion, and Green Goblin being set free. Now, put into an even tougher situation, the New Warriors are made quick work of. And now, back on the deck of the helicarrier, the New Warriors get a chance to redeem themselves. With Doc Ock, Beetle, and the Scorpion out of the picture due to their stolen jet being taken down, their odds of success are slightly higher. During the fight that is going marginally better, Cloak gets knocked into one of the helicarrier fans. And as Spidey jumps in to save him, Dagger realizes she's been tricked and is fighting for the wrong side. And once Spider-Man and Cloak make it back onto the helicarrier, he leaves the New Warriors to deal with the downed villains, as Spider-Man chases down Taskmaster, Vulture, and Green Goblin. In the armory, Spidey and Taskmaster face off, with Spidey sick of his shit.
Will you quit talking? I don't want to chat with you. I want to kick your butt.
He lays the smack down and defeats him in record time. And up next for round 2 of Spider-Man's whooping is Vulture, though Spider-Man chooses the mercy option and lets Vulture leave. And so lastly, Green Goblin, who has taken the Siege Perilous, which is the name of the important gem from the whole Doctor Strange episode, and just dips with a portal, leading to the end of the fight and the episode. The last part we have is that the new team and the old team put together, now including Cloak and Dagger, are too large for the helicarrier. So Nick Fury shows them their new home base, the Triskelion, which first appeared in Ultimates 2 in 2002. Episode 10, titled Halloween Night at the Museum, starts surprisingly on Halloween with Spider-Man visiting the museum. He wants to go see the new Camelot exhibit, but as he goes in, the security guard stops him, which allows a group of kids to sneak by. One of the kids, while inside the exhibit, touches a sword, which causes a whole bunch of purple energy to leak through, and then a bunch of yellow energy that turns the Halloween costumes real. And then, on top of all that, emerging from the purple is a character known as Morgan Le Fay, who I've never heard of before, and rightly so, since I learnt that she is a super old character, first introduced all the way back in 1955 in Black Knight #1, created by Stan Lee and Joey Manelli. I'm also going to take this second to apologize for any mispronunciations of names or characters or places or anything. I simply can't read. Morgan Le Fay reveals very quickly that she is evil, so of course Spider-Man jumps in to save the kids. And very much like Night at the Museum, the movie, the exhibits come to life. So now all we need is Ben Stiller, and then it's the perfect episode. As they block themselves into one of the rooms, the giant worm statue in the center of the room comes to life, leading to Spider-Man and one of the kids called Jesse, who seems about the same age as Spider-Man, working together to tie a knot on the situation. You get it? because the worm is tied up into a knot, you know? Sorry. I'll go back to narrating. I will leave all the jokes to Spider-Man. In a moment of respite, Spider-Man is able to explain the situation to the others before they get jumped by a flying jack-o'-lantern man. And upon doing my research and looking them up, that's actually just their name. Though, the alias jack-o'-lantern has been used a good number of times. The oldest one that I could find was from the 1980 Machine Man number 19 comic, which had the character known as Hobgoblin be called Jack-O-Lantern. It's actually the kids that take out Jack-O-Lantern as they drop a fucking aeroplane on him. You know, like any reasonable child would do. But the victory is very short-lived as two cavemen show up and kidnap Jesse, who is then, in return, just as quickly saved. And that kind of storytelling happens a lot throughout this episode. You have very quick roller coaster-like problem solutions instead of an overarching, larger story beat. Oh, they also wrangle a triceratops, which was unfortunately also short-lived. And as we get into the main fight of the episode, Morgan turns Mrs. Kipley the lizard? Iguana? Komodo dragon? I don't really know, but they are turned into an actual dragon, which honestly, this episode, while yes, could be considered a filler episode, I personally super fuck with it. You've got Spider-Man, you got Night at the Museum, you got the weirdest fucking D&D one-shot ever written, and it's in a fantasy style. It's the perfect episode for me. And then to sweeten the deal, the episode ends off with Spider-Man riding a fucking dragon. It's cool. And it goes hard as fuck. Oh, yeah, and, you know, the bad guy is beaten. Now, I doubt that these characters will ever show up again, but this episode was a fun little detour from the main show's storyline. Episode 11, Nightmare on Christmas. Okay, I get it. Halloween and now Christmas. These are just holiday specials. Before even going into the next episode, I'm gonna put a theory out there. This theory is based on the small snippet that disneyplus gives you about the episode. So basically, it's going to be a couple of holiday/Christmas movies rolled into one. I'm thinking A Christmas Carol based on the snippet of information, Nightmare Before Christmas based on the name, and maybe something like Home Alone, just because Home Alone is so damn popular, and I'm pretty sure one of them is set in New York. And okay, now that my theory is out there, instead of watching and then scripting and watching and scripting like I do with the other episodes, I'm just going to watch this one the whole way through. And then I will say if my theory was correct or not. So I'll see you guys in, about 25 minutes. Or, well, like 2 seconds for you, you know, because of, movie magic.
20 minutes later.
My bad, I was not aware of your game, Spider-Man. That episode was canon? I ask because it's the first time we see the gang in the new academy, but also the whole episode happens inside of Spider-Man's mind as Nightmare tries to consume his fear. So I was right with the whole Christmas Carol kind of vibe, but I was so off about everything else. That was a fun as fuck episode though. The different animation styles, the audio change, the overall story and message. It's a damn good episode showing that Spider-Man takes the responsibility of being Spider-Man very seriously. It was also the holidays for me like 2 weeks ago, so it's pretty topical. And from now on, I will never guess what an episode is about again. I clearly have officially learnt my lesson, and I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to guessing the plot. Oh, also, because I'm being informational this video, Nightmare was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, and first appeared in Strange Tales number 110 in 1963. And now, onto something very special. For the first time in Ultimate Spider-Man, we have a 4-parter. Episodes 12 to 15, The Spider-Verse. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these 4 episodes, and because it's a 4-parter, instead of sitting and scripting it, I'm going to live react to it. So, going into this experience that I'm only a little bit excited for. We have the Spider-Verse Part 1. Dude, I'm actually so hyped for this. This is basically just gonna be like, like a little movie.
You want me to believe that's
Who the fuck is that? Oh, Electro.
Electro? What's he doing here?
A mystical key allowing us to enter universes parallel to our own.
Oh! Okay. So it is just gonna be across the Spider-Verse. I wanna see, obviously, Miguel. I wanna see Gwen. I wanna see maybe Silk. That would be cool. I wanna see Ben Reilly. And of course, Yorkshire Spider-Man. Yo! Different animation style, what the fuck? Whoa, Goblin looks insane!
Stop, Goblin. Step 3, figure out some way to get a flying
Oh my
car.
god. It's great that they're still using like the chibi animations and stuff. Like, the animation style isn't affecting the animation, or like the animation media isn't affecting the animation style of the show. Does that make sense? There are certain little scenes in that that felt a little bit slow, but there's other parts that feel really fucking cool. Yeah, Miguel! Damn, bro, this really is the Spider-Verse. Miguel does not give a fuck who you are. Oh, Miguel has spider sense here. Cool. Dude, Goblin looks so fucking menacing in 3D. Look at him.
I have what I came.
Oh, is he taking fucking different Spider-Man's blood? Like different variants of Spider-Man? Dude, even Electro looks sick in 3D. Yeah, where are we going now? Holy fuck. So we've had 2099. I want to know who's next.
He is Spider-Man.
Dude, watching this like as a kid must have been fucking insane. You wake up on like a Saturday morning or whatever, whenever it aired, and then out of the blue, Spider-Man is just 3D for an episode? Holy fuck. Dude, that's so cool. Wait, so is each episode gonna be like its own universe? Oh wait, no, we're still going? We're already halfway through, holy fuck!
Never thought I'd be happy to hear that voice again. No, something sounds off.
Stay tuned for my in-depth expose on the vigilante.
What the fuck?
Listen to me, you're in trouble.
Oh, I'll show you trouble. It's on now. Don't mess with the big girls.
Wow, that is really annoying.
Honestly, this reaction really makes sense. Because if someone showed up, dressed as you, and then claimed to be you, and was like, nah, but I'm from like elsewhere though, you gotta trust me, I would also be freaked the fuck out.
Spider-Girl, Vandal or villain? Spider-Girl, public enemy #1.
Is that still the same voice actor of J. Jonah Jameson, just doing a female voice?
You're Norma Osborn, I know. My name is Norman Osborn. We have to talk.
Okay, so this universe's Goblin hasn't gone through the Goblinification. Dude, don't get your ass beat like that quickly.
I underestimated him.
Goblin said something.
Okay, it's an outfit. It's an
What did
outfit.
she want?
That's what I'm worried about.
Oh, never mind. She wants to be fucking Goblinified.
You know her attacks and what she can do.
I like how they're actually affecting the universes as well. So it's not just like they dip in, have a lot of fun, and then dip out. Like, this is, to this universe, like a permanent alteration, right?
You'll get yours, Goblin.
I'm looking.
And while, yes, we're probably never going to revisit these universes again, it's still cool to think about it hypothetically, you know? Dude, where are we going? I want the art style to change again. This is great, especially since the fucking, Across the Spider-Verse Part 2, or Beyond the Spider-Verse, I think it's called, got delayed.
One new world, dead ahead.
Noir? Yo, we're gonna get Noir? Dude, what's the Goblin gonna look like in Noir? Oh, never mind. It's like the exact same. And it's the same animation style. They've just They've turned the saturation way down. There he is! Yeah!
That would be me.
Spider-Man Noir! Dude, sick ass fucking title, intro.
There's an enemy of mine called the Goblin. I work alone. Nice to meet you too, sunshine.
Dude, he's so moody. I look, Noir, what the fuck is happening to my fucking camera?
He's a whiz at pulling last-minute disappearances. Whoa! Speaking of disappearances, seems like Goblin has some competition.
Dude, they're just treating like Spider-Man Noir like fucking Batman. Dude, he's in the fucking fit. Oh my god. Even without the jacket and the hat, it looks insane.
Hey, whoa! Talk about your not-so-friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'll bet this world's version of Aunt May is a real hoot. Aunt May?
Now, it seems like every Spider-Man's natural reaction to this Spider-Verse is to just start throwing hands.
Live at New York Airfield covering the arrival of the Daily Bugle airship.
Awesome! In this world, Mary Jane made it as an ace reporter.
Woo! First alt-universe MJ that we're seeing. Hearing. Of course, it has to be in a blimp. Of course, of course. Yeah, MJ, beat his fucking ass. Never mind. Yep.
Come on, ugly. Let's
Holy shit. Yeah, fisticuffs, fisticuffs. Yeah! Spider-Man's got hands! Beat his fucking ass! Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Now that's a photo.
You can't live in fear of what might happen. You care so much for others. You have to let someone care for you.
Ah, dude, we got a little romance. We got a little bit of romance. It can only happen in an alternate universe, but we got a little bit. Alright, so Goblin's got what he wanted, so we're leaving, right? Next place. Are we gonna have the same animation still?
or anything.
No, nope. Nope, not at all.
The name's Porker. Peter Porker, aka Spider-Ham.
Good old Peter Parker.
Let me guess. You got your
Spider-Ham.
Spider
With Spider-Ham no more.
Oh shit. He's already gone through his Spider-Man no more.
I've even walked a mile in your hooves that time Loki turned me into a pig.
What?
Oh, true. I'm glad they brought that up. You know? In other shows they might have just like looked over that, but Spider-Man has been a pig.
More than one little piggy to save you.
Oh, dude, what is Goblin? What is Goblin? Please. He's still just Goblin. Oh, well, yeah, because Spider-Man's still just fucking Spider-Man. That makes sense.
Wrong.
I'm sorry, but like the storyboard artists and the animators must have had a fucking field day when it came to creating these episodes. Holy shit.
Mouse? That's the green monster.
Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse? Spider-Man knows VTubers?
Oh, a castle. An honest-to-goodness medieval castle.
Medieval?
Guessing we're not in New York anymore.
No. Dude, if it is, this might become my favorite episode. Are we getting medieval Spider-Man? Oh my god, they're in Yorkshire! They're in Yorkshire! Yorkshire Spider-Man's real? Oh my god, there's no fucking way. I didn't know Yorkshire Spider-Man was real. I did that whole bit at the beginning of the fucking video. And now I'm learning that this is a thing. Not only is it fucking medieval Spider-Man, it's in York instead of New York, and York is in Yorkshire. So the Spider-Man here is Yorkshire Spider-Man. Oh my fucking lord. This is amazing. Yo! Spider Knight?
The dreaded spider! Back, lest I be forced to hurt thee.
Whoa! Dude, Yorkshire Spider-Man's the coolest Spider-Man.
squire, or thou art the town fool.
Spider Knight, holy fuck. This is the best episode I've ever watched in my entire life. Yorkshire Spider-Man is in a suit of fucking armor. This put my Yorkshire Spider-Man to shame. Shame on me, dude. I did not know this show had game like this.
Thy trickery cannot penetrate mine armor.
Dude, I'm gonna need to look up Spider Knight after this. After I've watched all 4 of these episodes, I'm gonna have to look up Spider Knight.
But we have.
What the fuck?
We need to take that thing head on.
Be ye touched in the head?
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's amazing. I might have to start using that one. Be ye touched in the head? I think he just became my favorite Spider-Man. Yo! Spider Horse! Alright, my number 1 spot's been taken. Man, this is my favorite Spider-Man.
Merlin, I know a way.
Wait, are we gonna go meet Merlin?
Science, we call magic.
Or a witch?
Whoa.
What? Doctor Strange? It's amazing.
Thanks, guys.
It's so balls to the wall, like fucking whatever works. But I'm so down for it. Because it's canon, but also like none of it really matters because it's not going to affect where like the Spider-Man we're used to is from.
Fare thee well, Spider Knight.
You are the better Yorkshire Spider-Man. I bow my hat to you. Yeah, it seems pretty normal. Miles Morales! Yeah! Or part 3 of the Spider-Verse might be the best one. The ultimate Spider-Man.
Is it the supervillain diet? Because I remember when you were big and scary and stuff.
You want to see scary?
Dude, Miles' design in this is so fucking cool.
I'll catch up to Goblin later.
See, I'm glad that now we're starting to see a switch where it's no longer Spider-Man just throwing hands with himself on, like, fucking first beat. We have Goblin just throwing hands with himself.
So you chase the Goblin from your world to this one, and since he's Goblin, he's probably after my DNA.
I'm glad that even in this show, Miles just fucking clicks on instantly like he did in the movie. Just like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
No, you don't understand. I mean, whoa.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That must be so fucked, like, to go to a different universe and find out you're just straight up dead. Like, in this universe, you're gone. Honestly, I really like that I've chosen to watch all 4 just, like, back to back to back. Because, you know, then it really does just feel like a little movie. This is satiating my thirst for the 3rd movie.
Teamwork, loser.
See, now I'm wondering what, like, Into the Spider-Verse Miles would have done if he was trained by, not like Old Man Pete, Gwen, and everyone, but if he was trained by, like, a young or prime alt-universe Peter, like this Miles is. Obviously, this isn't training, it's more like, you know, working together as a group, but they're still learning from each other. So I wonder what Into the Spider-Verse Miles, like, how would they differ?
I went to other worlds to bring back Spider-Man DNA, and along the way, I brought back Spider-Man's identity.
Ah, shit. So going to the different universes has, like, now serious consequences for our universe.
Now I have the speed and power of multiple Spider-Mans. Yeah!
Whoa. Oh, still not as fast as me.
Oh, so he's infused himself with their DNA. Oh shit, he's got Miguel's claws. He's got Miles' invisibility. So that Miles does have his Venom and his invis. Holy fuck. What's he got from Noir? Fucking boxing?
Continues to evolve me.
Is it backfiring? I mean, logically that's kind of the only... Never mind. Oh, fuck. Oh, I don't fuck with Spider Goblin.
You're a worse shot than you are a hero.
Not exactly.
Yeah! Yeah!
Bobby?
Yeah! Bring them in. Bring the spider people.
Spiders, team up. Watch yourselves. Don't let him tag you with his web and acid spit.
That makes sense. I was thinking to myself, I was like, how are they gonna write him out of this? You know? Because this is a situation where it wouldn't make sense for Spider-Man to win by himself. So, I was really curious how they were going to write him out of this trouble. But this is a very cool way to do it. Dude, they are not working well together. Oh, well, I suppose our Spider-Man is the only one that has a, that has a team. So these ones aren't going to work too well together. Dude. I keep thinking back. As a kid, if I saw this as a kid, I would have lost my fucking mind. Especially at, Spider Night. I mean, come on. That makes sense. Oh, all the way back! Did he turn it into a fucking mech? What the fuck? What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about?
You made a difference. It's time to do it again, but in the here and now. But nothing.
See? And now they're all coming together to boost our Spider-Man up, teach him his own lessons when he doubts himself.
You go, Spider-Girl. The rest of you, we got a robot to distract.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, Spider-Knight is so out of his league by, like, an insane margin, right? Because the rest of them understand cities. Spider-Knight has no fucking clue what's going on at all. Though, because there's, a huge fucking robot, where the fuck is S.H.I.E.L.D. and the rest of Spider-Man's teams? I know he doesn't have his communicator, which he mentioned, but surely they'd show up to a giant fucking mech.
Fantastic. You're the ultimate
Yep. Name him the title of the show.
Doctor says Dad suffered complete memory loss.
Yo, that's pure luck. That's pure luck and bullshit. What fucking cool episodes! That was just like a movie! So, now going back to normal episodes after that incredible little movie, we come to episode 16, S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy. This episode starts by giving us a real first look at the new base of operations, as well as mentioning that Spidey is no longer at Midtown High. From this point on, he's at S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy. We are shown a quick montage of all the characters we have met so far. It's mostly just a catch-up / reminder of all of those characters before we get into the grit of the episode. This episode shows us one of their teachers, Whizzer, who is from all the way back in 1941's USA Comics #1, as well as bringing Amadeus back into the spotlight, as the episode centers around his suit getting hacked, or more like it's picking up interference. And when he goes to check it out with Spidey, they find Dr. Arnim Zola, just kind of placed in a box. And yes, I know, he's very secure, and it's very safe, and it's very guarded, and cameras or whatever, but at the same time, bro's in a cupboard. Arnim Zola was a character created by Jack Kirby in 1977 for Captain America #208. He attacks Cho and Spider-Man before reforming himself and escaping. Spider-Man uses the Academy's drones to find out that even though Zola had a chance, he hasn't escaped the Academy, so he must still be inside the building. Also, this part is super fun, because we get some cool little snippets of what the other characters are like during their day-to-day. Cho and Spidey go to search the basement where there is a suspicious lack of cameras, and are joined by Agent Venom and Power Man. Going down there, they find Zola fixing to take over the world with some green slime monster things that are actually pretty tough to fight. And it's only when Whizzer comes to help them with his first-hand knowledge of Zola that they manage to put a stop to him. And that's the end of the episode. which I think is pretty well done. This episode was used as a reminder of all the characters and their interactions after the whole Spider-Verse fiasco, while also introducing a new location and a new character in the form of Wizard, who I think will become more of a C-list background character, but also still a mainstay, like Nick Fury or Agent Coulson in the other seasons. And the episode also manages to tell a small, well-rounded dilemma solution story without it feeling too dramatic or over the top. Overall, just a good episode to get back into the swing of things after the interdimensional detour. Episode 17, titled Rampaging Rhino, is, you guessed it, about the Rhino, which honestly is nice to see. It's been a while since we've seen Alex, and it's nice to see where he's at. Spidey shows Doc Connors that his Hulkbuster suit needs some upgrades that come in handy later in the episode. And while at the lab, Agent Venom, aka Flash Thompson, shows up, and that's when things take a turn for the worst. Rhino gets upset that he isn't able to turn back into a human, and on top of that, his lifelong bully is now a superhero. And so Rhino breaks out of the lab and the helicarrier, and we have a Agent Venom and Spider-Man team-up episode. Well, up until about halfway through, where Nick Fury decides that Rhino's a little bit too much of a threat and sends the Hulk to deal with him. And then Spidey gets into the Hulkbuster's latest model, but in the end, it's a Spider-Man Agent Venom team-up. We even, at the very end, get to see Rhino join the Web Warriors, and he is the newest member of the S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy going into episode 18, titled Ant-Man. And we start on that very man of ants, as a guest speaker at S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy. Of course, his lesson is that size doesn't matter, and then, out of nowhere, boom! Doc Ock is free. How, you ask? Well, Nick Fury set him free. So the team split up into two squads. Half of them go and fight Doc, and the others try and save Nick Fury. Spidey joins the Save Nick Fury team, and we go on a magic field trip deep inside of Nick Fury, as we are shrunk with Pym particles in a spider mech that Amadeus made. Once inside of Nick Fury, it is the team's job to take out the nanobots that Doc Ock placed inside of Nick. And there is a lot of them. Working their way up to the brain, where the bigger nanobot is controlling Nick, Ant-Man has to jump out of the mech and fight the bots, so that Spidey and Power Man can finish the job. And in the end, the only way to win is to attach the rest of the bots and throw them into Nick Fury's stomach acid. Oh, also, for a few minutes, Spidey gets to pilot Nick Fury like a giant flesh mech to stop a reactor from melting down. There's a lot of close calls in this episode with timers. And in the end, everyone is safe and no one is hurt at all.
Are you kidding me? I'm bruised from head to toe, my head is pounding, and my ulcer is acting up like I've been eating scrap metal.
For the last of the teens, we have number 19, Burrito Run. Hawkeye is teaching the heroes how to be sneaky and to outwit your enemy. And after the training session, they are beat. Not so much sleepy, just exhausted and hungry. And so begins the great adventure of the one burrito to rule them all. Spidey is joined by Squirrel Girl and Power Man, and as they go to get these burritos, they keep bumping into low-level villains. But every time they do, they notice that they're just stealing old cell phones. So it doesn't take long to learn that these villains are actually mind-controlled by Mesmero, someone who's actually a little bit more of a problem than someone like Batroc the Leaper. Mesmero is using these cell phones to try and mesmerize everyone in New York City. Though once our heroes corner him on a rooftop, it really doesn't take much for him to accept defeat and release everyone he's captured. And because they've been out all night stopping an invasion of Mesmero, they have to rush back without the burritos so they don't get in trouble from Nick Fury, even though Nick Fury knew the whole time. And finally, we are into the 20s. And there's only a couple episodes left to go of this season. And I've already spotted that this season ends with yet another 4-parter. So really, we're actually only a couple episodes before we come to the finale of my live reaction to those episodes. So, moving on into the 20s, we have episode 20, Inhumanity. Starting the episode off with someone I've never heard of before, Molten Man, who was created in 1965 by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko for Amazing Spider-Man number 28. And then in comes another person that I don't know, Triton. The only time I've ever heard that word is from Volo's Guide to Monsters. However, this Triton is from 1965's Fantastic Four, number 45. And again was made by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. We also learned that Triton is the newest member of S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy, and is also a member of the Inhuman royal family, which comes into play when the capital city of the Inhumans comes and flies over the top of New York. And the Queen, Medusa, declares war on all of the humans. Now, to save time going over all the Inhumans that show up in this episode, I'm just going to put their information on screen when they show up. Triton and Spidey sneak up to the capital city to see what's actually going on, and when they arrive there, the streets are empty, and they learn that Maximus has taken the throne, but he's also taken over the other Inhumans' minds, meaning that Spidey and Triton have to team up to defeat Maximus, but the rest of the Inhumans, and destroy Maximus's mind-controlling crown, leading, of course, to the day being saved, because the rest of the Inhumans don't want to do that whole war thing. Episode 21, Attack of the Synthoids, has us back in Midtown High, or, well, a nightmare. Inside of a nightmare, inside of a slime tube? And after breaking out of that inception, Spidey finds himself back inside of S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy. Explaining what just happened to everyone doesn't go so well, as when he goes to show everyone, it's all gone. So now, he kinda just looks crazy. Or as his friends think, sleep deprived. That is, of course, right up until the Synthoids show themselves. And after a quick fight, we get a flashback reminding us who Arnim Zola is. So Spidey goes to see Nick Fury, who seems a little off. Something isn't quite right. Motherfucking Arnim Zola. He's replaced Nick Fury and the others with Synthoids. Spidey now has to check his own friends, who most turn out to be slimed, though luckily Iron Fist and Iron Spider are A-OK. And as they use the same tech as before to track down Zola's signal, Iron Fist and Spider get got. Spidey then meets up with the remaining members of his team, who hopefully aren't Synthoids, and they work together to take down the Synthoid factory. Unfortunately, this doesn't work so well, and they accidentally print these fucking things. And during the fight, they find out that even White Tiger, who was working with them, is a Synthoid. So, with the distrust building, tensions rise, until Spidey brings the team back onto the same page, ready for round 2. They get cornered in the training room, and in the chaos, Dagger gets taken away. So the rest of the team take it up to another level, pushing themselves even harder, and in one fell swoop, squish all the Synthoids. But it's too late. Zola has already taken Nick and the other heroes. And then to top it all off, he blows up S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy. And just like that, an unexpected two-parter. And so we are on to the last of these episodes before, again, my live reaction of the final 4. Episode 22. The Revenge of Arnim Zola. Cloak does a /TP all to Arnim Zola, and gets everyone on board the helicarrier. But of course, Zola being one of the smartest dudes around? Is he around? I mean, he's a program, right? So anyways, he's planned for this, and has made a Juggernaut and Doc Ock monstrosity, as well as a Scorpion and Whirlwind one. This 4v4/2 doesn't go crazy well, as Cloak also gets taken away, leaving our 4 now down to a 3. As they go through the halls and deal with the traps, they go to the reactor room where Zola is. But because Agent Venom and Rhino work together like oil and water, Spidey has to win by himself. But the win doesn't really last long since, you know, Zola is a computer program, and you can't win by punching a virus. So we end up getting a big old boss fight, with Zola going extra large, and he's able to use Spider-Man's allies' powers. And since Zola is so souped up, it doesn't take long for Rhino and Agent Venom to get taken. So it ends up being Spidey versus Zola Prime, which lasts about 2 seconds before Zola takes over Spider-Man's body and sends Spider-Man's psyche into the digital world. As Spidey is losing the mental battle, the tubes that Agent Venom and Rhino are in malfunction and release them so they can work on saving Spider-Man. But even then, now that his body is set free, it is a battle of the mind. Or well, minds, as Spider-Man borrows everyone's powers from their mind link and uses them to fight back. I personally love this part because he only uses the powers from the OG Spider Squad. So in a way, it feels like a nice reunion or homage to Season 1 and the simple times, where it's just Spidey and his crew. And after Spidey kicks Zola's ass, he comes back to consciousness. But again, you know, computer virus. So Spidey borrows the Iron Spider suit and EMPs the whole fucking building, removing Zola from any connections, ending the episode off with the rebuilding of S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy. And that's that. That's the end of the script that I've written. And the next time you see me, I'll be in live reaction form. So get ready for the finale, a 4-parter to end it all. Hello, editing Brandon here. I'm editing the video right now. I just wanted to come in and say these last 4 episodes, unfortunately, are partly corrupted. You will hear it in some of the clips. The audio is a little fucked, but I have done my best, and some parts aren't going to make total sense, but a quick rundown of the story of the final 4 episodes is that the Collector and the Grandmaster brothers are playing Marvel Snap in real life, and it's up to Spidey to stop them from doing that and to save everyone in New York. That's basically the long and short of it, but enjoy the clips I did manage to salvage, and the ending of the video. Okay, and here we are, on the final 4-parter of the whole series.
Making great time. No traffic, no people, no people.
Suspicious. Suspicious. Why no people?
M.A.? M.A.
They're being gooped.
This is bigger than just me. I'm gonna need
Okay, so it's got S.H.I.E.L.D. too.
you to the Avengers.
Oh, okay.
They're not here for the...
I don't think we've ever seen Abomination or Scourge before. Okay, so the Grandmaster and the Collector are like building up a Pokemon team of heroes. Okay. I'm down for this.
Time for smash!
I knew you were gonna say that. It's always your answer for...
So, okay. So round 1's a simple 3v3, but they've got... Wait, sorry. So this is just like Marvel Snap. Okay. So it seems everyone knows what's going on.
You talk the same as you fight. Like a savage beast.
So is this just gonna be 4 episodes of like fight scenes? I imagine Molten Man's next to go. Because Kraven's a character we've had more interactions with throughout the show. Spider-Man is no dipping.
Not my favorite lamppost.
It's over, Spider-Man.
Okay, now that I understand how these episodes are gonna go, I hope, weirdly, that there are some fights that just don't include Spider-Man. I would love to see some of the Spider Squad in there. I'd love to see some of the Webbed Warriors. You know.
And to add a new variable and make the game more unpredictable.
Dude, it's so weird to think like all these new characters had to be designed for the show, and they're used for snippets. They're used for like little moments. Nice. See, again, we're seeing Spider-Man use his intellect during this fight. I like this. I like this so far. I like how it's going. That fight did feel significantly shorter.
I can change the game environment too, with something from my personal collection.
Oh, okay. Now the Collector says that he can change the environment. Bro just added sharks. What the fuck?
No more meteors. No more hostages.
Okay.
No more game changers.
I like this. Again, we're seeing Spider-Man's intelligence here. Nice. Again. Every time. Spidey's winning these fights with intelligence and not just brute force. Which might be the best part of this show. The fact that they're using that.
Come on, Collector, snap out of it.
But this is my brother we're dealing with.
Okay. Okay, he does have some stuff. He does have some stuff. The OG squad. Wait, where's Nova? Where's Nova though? Where's the OG squad? Wait, where's Nova the whole fucking four episodes? Oh, there he. Hey, Nova. I was just thinking about you. Where you been?
Figure out I was Spider-Man. It was Coulson, wasn't it?
I've just always known.
All this time, I was afraid to tell you.
You shouldn't be afraid to tell me anything. This changes nothing. You're still my nephew. I'm still your aunt.
Okay, it's nice. They're actually not doing the and they don't remember.
Peter, are you sure you can go? Don't they need Spidey?
I've spent a lot of time becoming the ultimate Spider-Man. I think for one night, I should be the ultimate Peter Parker.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's go.
We'll take.
Yeah! What a nice little ending, dude. Oh, man, that's so sweet. Hell fucking yeah. Oh, man. Honestly, I thought those episodes were going to be kind of ass. Especially, like, halfway through the first one. I was like, this is not it, Chief. But they're actually not too bad. I really enjoyed those. And also, yeah, this brings us to the end of the video. So, thank you very much for watching this, however fucking long it ends up being. And I'll see you maybe eventually, hopefully less than 7 months maybe, for season 4. Is there a season 4? I think there is. See ya!